Hello to all of you magnificent people of the arts. I really wish more than anything that I was a part of the energy of the room tonight, the pride, the worth, and our congratulations go to all of the artists in this final selection and who have entered this year. The selection process began with over 300 entries. And look, this may not sound like a lot in a world of tappable likes and love hearts, but it seriously was. But each work took my attentions and took my curiosity, both as individual artworks and as a collective of visual thinkers. There was an opportunity here to also engage in practices from a very inclusive perspective, in that all of the names of our artists were removed, and this allowed me to visually investigate and connect. And it was through this connection of collection that allowed me a very privileged view into what art is doing and sharing and being in our time. Now, our time is such a great catchphrase of now, because it is a precipice of change. And I know that we all feel it, and we are all going to see it in our art to come. Our time now is also very different to what it has been before. And my selection of finalists for this year's National Art Awards allowed new work in that 10 years ago wasn't given a stage to stand on. Thinking back 10 years, the art, simply put, occupied spaces that was heavily dominated by conceptualism and intellect. And this has been a really important part of art's growth. But what I am seeing and experiencing now is how our practices are able to bring back the characteristics that have often sat in the background. Alongside thought and intellect now reigns philosophy, poetry, and the heart. But two more very important forces are now allowing art to grow even more and get deeper. And for me, they are spirituality and learning. Spirituality could have been seen as a forebearer of all artistic practices. In European traditions, it's where perspective and dimension came into fruition. In practices of tangata whenua, the art of the wharenui imbued present-day life in honour of whakapapa in the past. Right now, in this selection of artists, you'll find yourselves in a very new world. You will be hurled into comfort and cathartic experience where these artists have presented their best selves. These works are all imbued and not only on the surface. They offer thought and hope. And the works that granted me the most attention were those that presented an experience, but also showed how they had worked through it and have come out the other side with a skill set we might all add to our toolkit. When I return to Hamilton for my talk, I'll be digging deeper into this. But for now, I really want to thank the artists for their bravery and putting all this forward. I know this may be the first time that many of you have heard that art can be can be so much, but art is educational. It is a visual language we learn and relearn within. And like education, you've pushed my inquisitive nature to search for readings that I relate to. I hope that this helps explain how I set about choosing this year's winner, runner-up, and merit prizes. I believe these 4 works will help drive art forward because they identified a cause and idea or an issue with a skill set that acknowledges the process of putting the work in at so many levels and also offering us some tools back. In this way, I believe these artworks are prophetic. You artists drove me to an inquiry where I may learn something new, And you did this by presenting the pathways you've taken to find your own personal answers through thought, practice, and heart, which is a spiritual experience. I pay respects to you all for your bravery and excitement in entering the National Art Awards. You are all very worthy of being artists, don't forget that, but show me your worth by please raising your prices. These National Art Awards play a very serious part in honouring the arts within our society. And as we all feel the financial pressures of now, and without a very structured approach to funding support, we have to believe in driving forward through this. A big part of my role as an artist is now being part of arts governance, and along with Judy Dara and Jane Mitchell, co-founded Equity for Artists to look at permanent legislative change around resale royalties for artists, and our voices are being heard. Yes, I'm using this stage as a platform for us. Change to arts infrastructures can't happen without us. And I'd like to also make you aware of Copyright Licensing New Zealand, which is now collecting copyright fees on behalf of artists and distributing those back to artists. All you have to do is check out the website and sign up. They might not be life-changing amounts, but here we are in another precipice where the artists are being ethically and morally honoured for our work done. In one of the only unregulated industries in the world, we are now in a space to have a voice. By standing together, we might change the world. So, in celebration of changing the world tonight, I'd like to now congratulate the winner of the 2022 National Arts Award as Emma Herkes. That was my pause for praise. I'm not sure if you can hear me, Emma, through the volumes of happiness, but I just wanted to share my congratulations with you and also share a token of my reading of your work as an entry point to the many layers within it and how I've described your work for the press release. I do very, very much look forward to talking with you about your practice and about your spectacular work red-handed soon when I get back to Hamilton. So red-handed for me is just such a majestically layered work that acknowledges the issue, but also the hero within. Emma has invited us to imagine what this character has been up to, and as a multi-gendered figure, inclusively invites us all. My reading begins in this thoughtful process of the artist's ritual of soaking linen. Placed face down, the linen absorbs an image like the Shroud of Turin. In placing the linen downwards, it collects the exploits and remnants of surroundings, or of the night before, collecting hairs and souvenirs of tape and collage that make reference to bodies violently surrendering to arrest and control. What the artist reveals as this figure is peeled back from the MDF board is a figure rising up, where the violent scars and pitted surfaces are celebrated in confetti colours, and darkness is now set into the past as a painted black background. These hands are no longer at surrender, but rise in triumphant celebration, masked as a hero, not a villain, from an uprising. Congratulations, Emma, and thank you for allowing me to access your work with this type of reading. Many thanks again to all the artists, to the generous supporters, to Liz Cotton, to Annabelle Henderson Morrell for the invitation to be part of this year's spectacular. I really do hope to see you all soon when I'm down again. Please have a great night. Imagine I'm there celebrating with you. And once again, Congratulations.